So now you have the privilege of throwing to a guy that Shannon and I think has Hall of Fame potential named Josh Gordon. What has that been like so far?
There's a reason you think about him having Hall of Fame potential. There's just athletes that come around every once in a while that are just God-given talent. The guy is 6'4", 230 pounds, and probably runs a 4.3. Long arms, can go up and get the ball. That's a blessing to have a guy to throw to like that. And so fortunate enough to be able to watch him run routes and kind of, be a game changer for us. And so then you add in Jarvis Landry, the competitor that he is. We've got some talent, and two guys to set the tone.
You can make a case, talent for talent, skill position. You mentioned Gordon and Jarvis Landry and Corey Coleman and Joku at the skill position, wide receivers, tight end, and then you go Nick Chubb, you go Duke Johnson, and you go Carlos Hyde. So you can make a case. Does that one, you're like, man, I kind of really need to be out there throwing to them guys. Man, I really, Tyrod, nothing against you, bro, but I really need to be out there.
Obviously, you would want to throw to those guys. So any chance I can get to get in reps and routes on air, anything like that, to throw those guys. But it's not just those guys too. We also have a lot of guys in the waiting. We drafted Antonio Callaway, very talented receiver. You got Higgins. You got Ricardo Lewis. I mean, you got another tight end, Seth the Valve, that really, I think he's going to have a great year. We got some weapons now that we're gonna be able to use.
And you're going up against a defense that has some young talent. Obviously, Denzel Ward's in your draft class, but Jabril Peppers is back there. And
last year's number one overall draft pick, Myles Garrett.
Yeah, he's still there.
Jamie Collins.
Jamie Collins. So, how good could the Cleveland Browns be?
I think that we set our own expectations, and we can be as good as we want to. I think the talent is definitely there. Now it's about buying into Coach Williams on defense and Coach Haley on offense, and just being able to execute. So, we've had guys kind of set, Kirksey, one of our linebackers, said that he guaranteed us going to the playoffs. I'm not going to set anything like that, because then you get a lot of fire back from that. But we have it's going to be, let's just say, a lot better than it has been the past couple seasons in Cleveland. And that's something that we need to look forward to and, be proud of.
Your offensive coordinator, he's been a lot of places, and he's kind of a little rough. He's kind of tough to deal with. He butted head with Big Ben. He's
a Parcells guy.
Yeah. So how is it? Because I'm pretty sure he's a lot different than what you're used to.
In some ways, but he's much more behind the scenes, easier to talk to than what people see. So I've had that before. Right when I got to OU, I had Coach Heupel, who's now at Central Florida, took over for Frost. He's very similar to that.
Really? Yeah. So Coach Heupel won a national championship for
the last time OU
won
one.
Yeah. So, to me, Todd Haley has a little bit of Baker in him. I mean, he's got a little chip on his shoulder. Like, have you clashed at all that way? He'll tell you exactly what he.
He has no filter, which is great.
No filter.
You know exactly what he's thinking at all times, which is the way I like it. But that's, we haven't clashed heads at all, because we have the same goal: make that offense the best one in the country. So that's the plan.
But normally with quarterbacks, they're coached differently than any other position. So do you mind being coached hard?
No, I love being coached hard. I think the expectations need to be set high, and if I fall below that, then I'm going to be a lot harder on myself than they can. So whether they start out coaching you, you have to do this and that, I'll change my ways, and I'll make sure that it is. We're all agreeing on that. And so for me, I've always been the hardest on myself.
Baker, Skip brought up the chip on your shoulder potentially, right? So yes, you walked on to a college team and took somebody's job. That's awesome. But since then, you've won a Heisman Trophy, and you went #1 out of all the people in the NFL draft. So I'm wondering, as you walk into the NFL now, do you still see yourself as an underdog? Absolutely.
I haven't done anything in the NFL yet. It's the same way I've always carried myself. I hadn't done anything when I got to Texas Tech, and I hadn't done anything when I got to OU. I always have to prove myself to me, not to everybody else. I'm not worried about getting approval, but being the best version of myself. This has been a dream of mine for a long time, and I've set the bar high always, and it's not going to stop now.
Do you see yourself kind of playing your career like with a Brady-esque 6th-round draft pick type of chip on your shoulder.
The mentality that he has, I think, is second to none. But I think that's also the same way that some of the other guys around the league carry themselves as well. No, they weren't necessarily drafted in the same spot he was, 199th, but they have the same mentality, and there's a reason they've all played like that.
Well, we look
You
forward
do
to
know 199, so you.
I was 192 myself.
Yeah.
There we go.
192.
Did well for
192,
yourself.
but it was 12 rounds back then.
Oh, okay.
So it's only 7 now. So
Well, you still got a chip
little
on your
bit different.
shoulder,
I
and
do.
you're still an underdog.
Baker
I'll
Mayfield.
be winning.
Thank you so much, Baker Mayfield, for being with us.
Thank
New
you.
series, All the Way Up,
Appreciate it,
premieres
guys.
on July 29th on Fox.